we're going to explore the groundbreaking and honestly kind of spine-chilling sociological theories of Jacques Ellul. Can technology exist without propaganda? Jacques Ellul offers this incredibly famous and frankly unsettling metaphor. He says, propaganda is the Siamese twin of our technological society. In his view, these two forces are indissolubly linked. You literally cannot have one without the other. Our modern civilization doesn't just happen to use propaganda, it fundamentally requires it to survive.
To understand how this massive, invisible machine operates, here is our cognitive roadmap. We'll look at the Siamese Twins, manufacturing consent for progress, the perfect technological milieu, integrating man into the system, state, technique, and propaganda, and finally, the illusion of choice.
Part 1. The Siamese Twins, an inseparable ecosystem. We are drawing heavily from Ellul's seminal 1962 book, Propaganda, and he shifts our paradigm completely here, arguing that modern propaganda is actually an encompassing environment. Think of the constant hum of social expectations on your feeds. It springs up to stabilize and unify society, rather than just being top-down brainwashing. But to really grasp why propaganda is everywhere, we first have to understand what Ellul means by technology. So the crucial point is understanding technique. As Ellul defines it, it's the totality of methods rationally arrived at and having absolute efficiency in every field of human activity. It is a mindset. It's the algorithm predicting your next purchase, the optimization of education, the standardization of labor. We live in a civilization utterly dominated by the pursuit of absolute efficiency.
Which brings us to Part 2, manufacturing consent for progress, the prerequisite.
Now, why does this relentless pursuit of absolute efficiency require psychological manipulation? Why is propaganda the prerequisite for progress? Well, technical progress does not come free. To build a highly complex, efficient technological society, the public has to endure massive financial investments, sweeping social disruptions, high taxes, and rigid, standardized labor. Naturally, nobody just wakes up excited to sacrifice their individuality to sit in a cubicle for the sake of the system. The public wouldn't naturally accept these heavy burdens on their own.
And that is exactly why propaganda becomes the indispensable condition. Without it, the public would revolt against the sacrifices demanded by these large-scale systems. Propaganda acts as the psychological lubrication. It manufactures our consent. It convinces us that all this standardized labor and social disruption isn't just necessary but actively good for us, that it represents progress.
Moving on to Part 3, the perfect technological milieu, an ideal environment.
If propaganda enables technology, technology repays the favor by creating the exact conditions, the perfect environment, where propaganda can truly thrive. This environment rests on 3 pillars. First, mass media. You simply can't have totalizing propaganda without the technical inventions of the press, radio, television, and the internet allowing for continuous messaging. Second, scientific basis. Modern propaganda isn't guesswork. It's a precise technique based on sociology and psychology to predict and manipulate human behavior. And third, mass society. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the focus on the mass. Technological advancement has completely uprooted individuals from traditional, tightly knit organic groups like the extended family or the local village. Instead, we are placed into a massive, homogenized society. This leaves individuals isolated, ironically, feeling completely alone despite having thousands of online connections. And that makes us incredibly vulnerable to the psychological pressure of mass messaging.
Part 4. Integrating man into the system, the buffer.
So, how do human beings actually cope with living inside this artificial, highly mechanized environment? Notice the sharp contrast here. Technology creates severe maladjustments, alienation, an overwhelmingly complex world, and oppressive mechanization. But on the flip side, propaganda swoops in as the solution. It offers a fake sense of participation. It provides ready-made opinions so you don't have to stress about understanding complex issues. It turns oppression into cheerful submission.
Ellul defines this specific function as an agent of adjustment. Propaganda is the buffer. When the tension of modern life becomes just too extreme, propaganda, whether that's through mindless entertainment or corporate wellness narratives, solves the very anxieties technology created in the first place. It persuades individuals to submit to a programmed existence with good grace, providing a reassuring narrative to keep us functioning efficiently within the machine.
Part 5. State, Technique, and Propaganda, the Symbiosis.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when the government enters this closed loop of technology and psychological adjustment. Ellul calls this interlocking trinity the realm of necessity. The state, the technological system, and propaganda feed into each other endlessly. It's a closed system that Ellul views as domain of absolute determinism.
Let's walk through how this loop operates in reality. First, the state pursues massive technical projects, things like atomic energy, national infrastructure, or complex economic management. Second, to execute these efficiently, the state must centralize power, becoming a technological state that needs absolute control and compliance. Third, to get that compliance without using physical force, the state deploys mass propaganda to justify its power. And this is vital to understand. Ellul notes this happens impartially across all political systems. Whether a state is capitalist, communist, or democratic, if it's a modern technological state, it absolutely must manage public perception to survive and advance its technical goals.
Finally, Part 6, the illusion of choice. Technique modifies everything.
This brings all of this theoretical sociology directly into our own 21st century experience. Ellul warns that technique modifies whatever it touches. Think about the massive dissonance between how liberating our devices make us feel and what they are actually doing to us. Propaganda gives us the illusion that we're in control, that we're asserting our individuality through our digital choices. But the reality is that the logic of technique, efficiency, standardization, speed, modifies our very nature. It conforms us to a mechanized existence, even as we feel like we are expressing ourselves.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. When you freely choose to engage with technology today, to scroll, to post, to optimize your life, are you really exercising free choice? Or are you simply conforming to its inherent logic of efficiency, guided by the invisible hand of social propaganda? It's a chilling question, and one that makes Jacques Ellul's work more vital today than ever.
Das Sein ist das Unbestimmte schlicht, wie ein erster